Kia ora, dear listener or viewer. Welcome to Zealand. Now, Zealand is set in a post-apocalyptic world, so it goes without saying that we will be exploring some of the darker natures of humanity. So if you're squeamish or the idea unsettles you, take your chance now to walk away. For now, we return to Zealand.
Kia ora, guys, gals, and legionnaires. Rycon here, and welcome back to Zealand. This is Chapter 5, Part 1, What Remains. We are joined today by Jake and Nick, who are with us. Unfortunately, we have an absent Skulk, but we're going to power on all the same. Since we last saw our survivors, Jonah has been put to rest, and 3 weeks has passed. A little bit over 3 weeks. In those weeks, the weather has been miserable. There has been near non-stop torrential rain, thunderstorms, a typical New Zealand summer, some might say. There has been a concerted effort from everyone at the reserve who isn't recovering to lay out sandbags to prevent flooding that's been occurring in some of the buildings. Doors have been closed up. And in the few moments where it's not pouring down with rain, large nets have been erected using various different types of materials. Volleyball nets, swimming pool mats, all kinds of things that are meant to catch things have been set up out the front of the MDC, so that should any flying menace come attack in the future, they might have a little bit of a harder time getting closer to those entryway doors. Many other projects have been undertaken over those 3 weeks that have passed. Now, Nick and Jake weren't in recovery mode. They were trying to assist where they could. Everyone else was still recovering from various injuries. Skulk recovering from the loss of his leg. Vedant, you suffering from a ligament that had been severed on the back of yours. Dan, your arm incredibly injured from your encounter with the bats atop the building. And Scott, you were still making your way back from your eye, which still hasn't grown back suspiciously. But still, you all carry on as best you can. Now, Vedant, what did you get done in your 3 weeks?
I made things that go boom.
He did.
So I've been working with Lulu for the past 3 weeks. Brushing up on my chemistry and trying to relearn how to make some ammo for the different kinds of weapons that we've got. I've also been working with Scott to recreate ammo casings so that we can fill those and actually have a working ammo. That's still work in progress, but I believe I've been able to make some boom sticks.
Yes. Yeah, some baby steps were taken towards reproducing your own ammunition. But yeah, you did manage to, in this time, create some fertilizer bombs, which we don't know how effective they're going to be. We don't know how long it's going to take until they explode once they are armed. And, well, it's science.
It's how I'm going to go.
Yeah, well, yeah, the guy has one sigil left, so...
Playing with fire.
You didn't have to use it. You didn't have to use it in between, so that's a good sign. Dan and Scott, you've had some collaborative projects. What have you two been working on?
So my biggest project, I've been making a sort of brace for my dead arm, using some of the belts and hides that I've brought with me from Auckland. So that's mostly sort of like a reinforced shoulder strap, comes across the chest and holds that arm in place. with the help of Scott. It's got a little bit of metal plating and stuff for protection, and I've fitted that out with some, essentially a bandolier for my hand crossbow bolts. Also teamed up for a leg brace so I can actually cock the crossbow one-handed. And lastly, took a hand sledgehammer effectively, and Scott thinned that out and drew it back a bit, so I've got sort of
A meaty, pointy thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
very makeshift
Handpike.
warhammer handpike. Yeah,
A Dan hammer. A Dan hammer. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
something I'm a bit more used to from
All
the last
right.
couple of years.
And Scott?
Well, I've basically been trying to keep it easy, going easy, because I mean, it's going to take a long time for me to recover. Still recovering with losing my eye. I have been working slowly on a new set of chainmail. I haven't been working with to the same level of detail as I had with the previous sets, just because people going around doing different things. I didn't exactly take the exact measurements of them. It's functional. I've created one set so far. It's functional, so someone else will have armor, but it's potentially not to the same comfort as the other ones that we've done.
Form over fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously helped Verdant create a wax molds for the bullet casings and the projects that Dan has mentioned.
Fantastic. Now, Nick and Jake, the two of you have done some exploration. During the siege of the Bats, which turned into much more of an event than I think, or anyone else anticipated at the time, the bastards were tough. Once the containment had been lifted on that, and during these kind of rainstorms, the two of you have been able to head out with Frank and do a little bit of exploration. There was a bit of a commotion during that period when you were all stuck inside, where there was a fair amount of gunfire in the distance that you heard. The source of which you weren't able to really determine, but a few theories were flung around as to what or who that could be. You have walked through the fields, up the bloody hill, down, up, down again, towards Matakana. Everything is seemingly okay up until you reach there. Lee, relatively deserted, in the right areas. Your sound trap still active, keeping the dead, the infected, and anything else drawn towards those points. A point that's actually quite close to the water, so moving through the town's a little bit easier, but with Frank as your guide, you're able to make it through pretty simply. There are tracks that you can see that he and the others have walked over that 5-year period, moving through without being noticed. However, once you reach Matakana, that's when you start to notice that something's wrong, and Frank notices this pretty much right away. There is a hilltop where there is a vineyard along the side. There should be something poking up from it, and there wasn't. It was a large tower, a windmill-like structure that was these sound traps. A large windmill-like thing that had mirrors and all kinds of scraping discs on it, making a freaking horrid noise and catching the sun from all angles, drawing things towards it. That thing has been toppled, and all around Matakana there are just countless numbers roaming the fields. Staying low and using your binoculars, you're able to get a little bit of an idea of what might have happened. Again, both you and Nick haven't been to this area before, so knowing things that are different, nothing really jumps out at you, but Frank is able to determine that quite a lot has gone down over that period. There are vehicles there that weren't there before. There is one in particular that stands out, this strangely gaudy vehicle. It's a large truck with a trailer on the back of it that has been painted in a bizarre fashion. It looks like it was originally black, but there are all these kind of gold highlights sprayed along the side of it. Something that really stands out, something that you wouldn't forget anytime soon. And once the two of you are able to look through the binoculars yourself, you're able to see that this has been quite heavily reinforced. The doors have almost been welded over, and it looks like there is an opening on the top of the vehicle where someone might be able to enter or exit from. As far as you can tell, this thing seems to be abandoned. There are large back doors on the back of this truck and trailer. The trailer on the back is actually more of a container than an actual traditional trailer for a truck and trailer unit. The doors of that are wide open. All around there you can see hordes of dead that have been roaming around day after day, flattening the grass and just tearing all this mud along with them during this rainstorm. It's determined that it's going to be too difficult and too dangerous to push on from this point, so you return back home. Jake, you've been getting apprehensive because Aroha is nearing that due date. Willow has been doing everything that she can during this period to make it easier on her, getting different ways to cope with pain and the potential issues that are there. But the thing is, she doesn't know what is causing these issues, and without actually being able to see what's going on inside there, it's very difficult to know what could be causing those problems. You know that there are various different types of medication that can help with this process. However, most of those, if not all of them, were used when Willow delivered her child much earlier on, actually before the 5-year time skip, after you and Nick had left. However, all hope is not lost. During this period, you are able to discover, while going through some of the yellow pages and white pages, a place that's nearby. Well, near is a relative thing in the apocalypse. In Wellsford, there is a birthing centre. There you might be able to find the things that you need, but it is a bit of a journey. You know that the road through Matakana is blocked, but heading north through Parkery and taking a bit of a trek, eventually you would be able to make it to Wellsford. You have that in your mind. And at the same time, you've been wanting to find an alpha site, somewhere that you can fall back to should the inevitable happen, and this place falling. I say inevitable, let's hope it's not inevitable. Most things are in this world, but maybe that's not one of them. You haven't been able to nail down a specific site, but you have been looking into areas around here, and you've actually been keeping some of the supplies in the reserve separate and ready to move out when you do find somewhere to head out in. You've been traveling on foot, and it's been hard in this weather. But as this 3-week skip starts to come to an end, once some of you have recovered enough that you can return to your daily lives as much as you can, the wounds that you had have healed, but they are still with you. The pain is there, but you can cope, you can get by as much as you can, because generally there isn't a choice. We can't just lay down and accept. We have to keep going. It's been tough since Jonah's passed. Nick, after Jonah passed, he left with you his rifle. A gift that he thought and hoped you would be able to make use of, that you'd be able to use to keep protecting these people, to keep them safe. And
hey, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's taken everyone a while to get used to him not being around. And it's been a while since this group, these people, who are still relatively new to you, Dan and Vedant, it's been a while since they've lost someone. And you can see it's hit this place pretty hard, especially someone that was a central figure of their community. But they've been kicking along as best they can, trying to. And during the skip, while all this has been happening, you do still have an extra person that's with you, someone that's been with you for a little while now, but someone that has been silent. Just an observer, someone that's just been sitting there reading books in the upstairs kind of shared space. That person is Mikhail, a Russian who was recovered and brought back. And now I'd like to invite a guest to come and sit down at the table. Mikhail, welcome. come take a seat.
Thank you.
So,
So you're not Russian. What are you talking about?
So, as we reach the end of this accelerated time period, the weather is still average at best, but it's not thunderstorms, and the floods seem to have passed. The waters have subsided, and we find ourselves with a new day in the new world. It's morning, it's breakfast. You're all sitting around the communal table, eating the food that's come from Lulu's garden, that has been collected from the traps of Skulk, the fish that's been gathered from Scott and Charles. As you sit and eat, all of you, Mikhail included, sit around this table. The floor is all of yours.
So the weather's getting better.
The weather is better today. It's still cloudy, but it's not raining, which is a great change because it's been near consistent this entire time. Conveniently so.
Yeah. We need to. You know what I need to do. I need to get some more supplies for Ara. We know where it is. The weather's clearing up. It's a bit far. I reckon if we could get some bicycles,
Makes sense.
maybe
Do you have any bicycles?
we would have seen them about.
You have 3 bikes. They were bikes that were used by Scott, Jen, and Frank whenever they went out and did scouting or exploration missions during the time skip. There are 3 here in total.
Maybe we can boat up as far as we can, and then bike from there.
Yeah.
Leave a crew on the small crew on the boat, and then we can bike off, and then
You might stand a better chance with the sailboats than that old piece of shit out of there.
yeah.
It's Hogan speaking up, who, for the most part, has been keeping with the
Background characters.
with the other with the family's C team, but he's still kicking about.
I've had a look at it, and it's a miracle it's still running as it is now. If you keep that up, if you keep pushing that thing, it's going to break down eventually, and you don't want that to be happening when you're out there. Work's good in a pinch, but that's just it, a pinch. In that plane, I would like to not touch that fucking thing again, if we can avoid it. But if I'm gonna get my ass bit off, maybe that could still work.
Look, we've got a location. We've got maps,
You do have maps.
so we'll memorize those. Obviously, bring them with us, but we're going to familiarize ourselves with those maps.
Yep.
Makes sense.
I think if we're biking, it'd be and we're going to bring gear back. It's probably going to be a light run, so we might have to keep the chainmail, or most of the chainmail, and this fire gear might have to go.
Or at least maybe stay on the boat if there's room.
Yeah. Take some minimal supplies, empty bags, and the plan is to get in there, find out where it is, do as much scouting as we can, but we also, she can go anytime. Kind of need to hurry.
Yeah.
The chainmail's not too heavy as well. So it's nowhere near as heavy as your gear.
Heavy, wouldn't it?
It's more of like a over the top ring, like kind of like small ring mail.
Yeah. No, it's more the fire gear is quite. It's not too heavy, but it's more bulky. So
Yeah.
you know, like shit gets caught in the chains and shit like that.
It's got 7-8 kgs.
Like,
Frank speaks up. I've had a look at the maps, trying to think what your best course might be. Boats would work for a bit, but you stand a pretty good chance inland as well. What we saw in Matakana means that route's cut off from us. But there's a chance. Make your way north to Parkery. travel on from there. Think you could make it.
Yeah.
But I think we should still talk about that. Those vehicles.
Yes.
We weren't able to get close. There were too many then. Chance we might be able to now. If you're heading out that way, it'd be a little bit of a detour, but
Maybe worth a look.
be some answers.
Yeah.
I mean, Mikhail never came back. Sorry,
Ishmael?
not Mikhail.
Ismail.
Go sit back
Ismail.
over there.
Yeah.
Ismail never came back.
No.
So either he found what he was looking for, or he,
You can't come back.
yeah.
Yeah.
After everything we sort of went through to bring that guy back, that's disappointing. But
People have their own priorities.
Yeah.
yeah, no offense,
mean-
of course.
I don't believe he would have left me on purpose. He must have encountered some difficulty.
Do you speak?
I've been unwell. It looks like you guys have been a little bit unwell too.
You can say that again.
Yeah. That was a rough night.
The fact that you speak makes it easier to get a bit more information. We were wondering if we could talk to you about, well, one of ours that was at your camp, but it's at a later date. We've got priorities.
Yeah. As urgent as I'd like that to be, it's
Yeah,
not as urgent as
yeah,
someone about to pop. So
yeah. No.
I've got a list that might be able to help, things that I think you'll need. If they have everything that's here, I think it could give us a much better chance.
Take that.
Willow
and
hands you.
Make copies
list
and
of
give it
things.
to everyone.
Okay.
Everyone has a copy of what's needed.
Okay. It's an itemized list of a number of different drugs and also potential information that might be needed. There could be a good chance that you might be able to find some books that can help there. Knowledge is always valuable.
Yeah. Alright. You guys don't need to come. This is just for me. If I have to go by myself, I don't mind.
No one goes alone anywhere. Not
Exactly.
anymore.
yeah.
I mean, you came along with us while we looked for Max. This is, I mean, at the very least, what we can do.
Yeah. You waited for us after the
That's
the
it.
ship, which is the biggest one.
Yeah, didn't have to. But,
No.
You know,
That could have
You know
very
I'm
easily
in,
gone
so-
badly for you. So
Alright. Appreciate it.
There's not enough people left, especially not enough good people left to leave people behind. It's not really an option anymore.
as horrible as it is to say it, good people are a resource we're going to have to watch as well. Just like we wouldn't throw away good food, we have to watch people too.
I like people, but I wouldn't eat the whole one. I'm just kidding.
That's the joke.
You're definitely seeming better.
I feel much better. Much better.
How's the hand?
It's not too good, to be honest. It's pretty bad.
So, what's your plan from here then?
Get everything together, get on the boat, go as far as we can, and then move out. Probably same as what we did last time. Nick and I go ahead.
What one of the boats are you going to want to take? Second Chance or one of the sailboats? We've got 2 sails and Second Chance.
I'd say sailboat. I agree with Hogan. I'm not too keen on getting stranded out in the water.
Yeah.
But then the second chance is a bit faster.
I mean, second chance still works well
Yeah.
enough. But
You were talking about before, when Hogan was talking about the speedboat we took back, eh?
No, there was no speedboat. Sorry. That's another voice.
Too many voices. Too many. God damn it. Get back in there. Get back in there, buddy. I'm going to have to let that one go. I'm going to have to let that one go. No, I'm talking about the yeah.
second chance.
Second chance.
Sailboat it is.
Yeah.
Most reliable.
Yeah. Second chance, we should really leave if we need another second chance. If we need a...
If you're going to take one of the sailboats, I'll be more than happy to captain for you.
All right.
Charles.
Charles. Alright.
Good. I haven't touched one of those in 20 years.
Well, no need to. I'll steer us straight. How long do you think you'll be inland for?
How far is it? we would have sort of timed average bloody moving at a decent pace, but also obviously trying to stay hidden where we can. 5 minutes?
Could be a day, maybe more. Yeah, it's a fair walk.
Yeah, maybe day there, day back.
Yeah.
So, using the maps that you have and how you've traveled so far, you're able to get a little bit of an idea of how much it would take. At the moment, we've got about a 7-hour and 30-minute time on a walk, which essentially is going along the pathway that Frank had seen. Would be the best course for you to go. Obviously, the alternative route is actually going to take a lot longer. So, thankfully, you don't need to go through Matakana, but yeah, it's still going to Matakana is going to add around about 3 to 4 hours to your journey.
Are you able to change that to...
If we sail down to Matakana.
If you sail down to Matakana, it would take a lot less time.
Yeah. Able to change it to a bike?
Change to a bike?
Well, I mean, if we've only got 3 bikes.
You've only got
that's-
3 bikes. So
Can we get some more?
possibly, yeah, definitely. You could try and search some of the not nearby properties, but it would be a ways to go. You wouldn't have taken all the bikes, so there is still a chance that you could find some in nearby properties if you're going to try and search them. But that's what you'll decide along the way.
Can you ride bike with your leg?
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Wait,
mine's fine.
your leg's fine.
Can you steer bike with your arm?
I managed to ride a bike.
Yeah,
You'll be able
I've got one.
It'd be a challenge, but you might.
I've tried doing that, dude.
Yeah.
One-handed bike.
You can ride a one-handed bike.
Up and down hills?
Oh,
That's harder.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, fair enough.
It's not a straight shot,
No.
unfortunately.
Especially if you get a road rage, you need to give finger, then how you steer.
I like this guy.
Alright. Nah, fair point. We'll just have to double time it.
You're not the only one. Your friend keeps winking at me.
I'm afraid all I've got is winks now.
So to give you an idea, that is the path. Obviously, yeah, if you did want to try and sail down to Matakana, that is an option. That's on the table. So it's really down.
They could drop us off, come in down past Point Wells, drop us off, and then we shortcut around Matakana and take the straight route.
I will say that. Oh no, it's not Point Wells that has a sound trap. No.
Let's take one.
I don't know
T-point
much
does.
about your
We can go around
inland
that.
hiking path, but myself, my experience at sea in this area was a little bit bad. I told you about, well, you know about the military guys.
Yeah, they mentioned.
Yeah.
So going back to when they would have been in like Walkworth and stuff, you know, sort of clearing that out. At the hunting and fishing there, we would have had topographical maps of sort of this entire area, right? Would we be able to utilize those to be able to sort of, so if we go into sort of more Matakana, but then sort of, you know, Whakatiyaba, then cross, just sort of skip Matakana.
It's entirely possible. Traveling farmland's a little difficult, but it's entirely possible for you to do that. A lot of your
So it's quite hilly, to be honest.
a lot of your course will vary as you are traveling. So you can set out with an intention, but a lot of that will probably change as you're going.
Maybe we just take the quickest route.
Especially
Go through
topographical maps took into account when civilization was still running and grass and overgrowth and all that.
Even the topography wouldn't change that much. I mean, grass obviously does, but
but if we're talking about farmlands, grass
We can
is
always-
a massive factor.
Go check out Matakana some other time.
yeah.
It's if we end up going that way and getting stuck for far too long, we don't want to be halfway in the middle of nowhere if anything happens.
Yeah, let's just take the quickest path. We'll go through Parkery, straight to Welford.
Well, you're lucky. It's still early in the day. If you set out now, you should be able to make it just before nightfall.
If there's no trouble, but that's never guaranteed.
It's the beginning of the year, eh?
Yes, it's
So-
still January.
What? It's like night time about.
It's late.
It's
Yeah.
light when it comes to like 6 something, 7, and then it's like night time at like 9.
Yeah.
So we got we got a good few hours. Even once we get there.
10 hours or so of light still.
All right. Well,
Let's pack light. Let's get
we'll get as much as you can on you, and we'll start moving.
What about defensive equipment? We don't know what the zombie situation is down the path that we're taking. So how much do you want to carry in terms of...
Probably not the big guns, but
If you're traveling anywhere near the
as much as you love the sniper.
the township, you could always use if you find it is overrun, you could always use the sound trip in the town center to pull them towards the town as you go around it.
maybe we take some batteries and some sound stuff so we can.
We've got phones on the chargers, so you're good. But if you're going for a few days, it's probably best taking a few extra batteries.
I'm going to carry one of my new projects with me.
Gear. What do you guys need? Obviously, stealth is the important thing here.
Alright.
But
Nick and I will do what we did before. We'll
That's
run ahead.
point of question. Between the hunting rifle and the suppressed sniper, which is quieter?
The suppressed sniper. Overall, yeah, because the hunting rifle has nothing. Also, it fully depends what rounds you're using as well. But yeah, it still would be quieter.
But
One or two.
in the open,
Yeah.
it's still pretty loud.
Yeah.
It's still a gun.
Yeah.
But these areas are quite hilly, so any sound will be bouncing off everything, and it'll be kind of hard to
Pinpoint.
Yeah.
But in saying that, they hear a sound in a direction. Everything just comes from all around.
Yeah.
Obviously, those are last ditch things. That's life stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
I will collect your bags from downstairs and start to load them with as much food and water as I can. That will be comfortable, of course.
Yeah. I'm going to take my big gun. I'm taking my big gun.
All right. So,
I'll
just to let you know,
leave the hunting rifle behind.
this is the first time for some of you that you've been away from home without a lifeline.
Yeah.
You're able to take as much food with you equal to your
Might.
is it your might?
Might?
Yeah,
Your
your
might.
might.
That's
Yeah,
how many
first
days
digit
To
of
my
might.
carry.
Your carry capacity.
Yeah, you carry. You can use carry for that. So that's how many days worth of food and water you can bring with you.
90. No. 5 days.
You're lucky in that you've already had your first block for today. Your breakfast is sorted, so
So
you're
it's
safe for them.
three. So it's basically 3 small meals in a day.
Okay.
Yeah. So keep track of your resources as you go on this trip, as you will need to know what you have and how much of it you have. So effectively, again, you can carry as much up to your might
All right.
of days worth of food and water. Yeah.
First digit, yeah. So we're effectively we're stocking up with the plans to take 2 days worth, or are we?
Yeah, you can
max
take
hours?
that's your max.
Yeah.
So yeah, you,
Well, I mean-
you don't have to take as much of that.
But we might as well max it out because we're going to use one when we get there
Yeah.
at the very, on the way, and then we got
And
probably another
as-
day there and back, and then one for safekeeping. If
Yeah.
3's all you got, I can carry 5.
And as we know, Murphy's our best friend, so might as well.
Yeah.
So who's going on this trip?
All player characters.
I'll join you.
I'm gonna stay and keep watch and be aware of what's going on.
That's Skulk. I can't do Skulk's voice. Skulk is staying here for the time being.
Actually, with Skulk and the radio, I don't want to put locations over a radio, so we'll have sort of set points of like A, B, C, D at certain distances and stuff like that, and areas, and we'll just keep our radio communications going. We're at site A, blah blah blah. Seeing how
We check in.
how far the radios go in terms of that direction.
We know generally that they start to drop off once we make it over the hills
hill.
towards Park Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Am I scowling well enough? Do I have a good scowl? Yeah.
You're getting there.
Yeah. I'm working on it, Skulk. I'm working on it.
Just turn him like actually South African, like actually give him a
Alright.
accent.
Yeah.
Set up a Skulk
Okay.
soundboard.
All right.
Yeah, alright. You got the radio,
All right.
it's
Good
alright.
luck.
You take this radio, I'll take that radio.
You sound more like Adrian than Skulk.
Yes, well, that's that. I know, that's what we're saying, yeah. Okay, so you gather together as much equipment as you can in your packs, ready to set out on this adventure. You know,
Gas masks for everyone,
Yes.
including the new guy.
is it determined whether or not you guys are going to be coming along?
Is this direction which Ismail went?
Is it?
No. Well,
Sure.
You seem
I
very
don't think you
trustworthy.
need to roll for sarcasm
we
on that
can't
one.
see. We can't say for sure
We don't
which
know.
direction he went.
Did he say exactly where he was planning to go?
Well, that's the thing. He didn't say. He just
didn't
up
say
and
anything.
left.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're with you on that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wonder what was thinking him.
Alright,
Would like to know.
let's gear up.
It'd be great to have another set of hands on this if you'd like
Well,
to.
I
come
can't
along.
give you a set,
Well,
but I can give you one.
One. It'll do.
Okay.
You balance out his one.
What skills do you have? What did you do before?
Well, I was working on big boat. We were moving oil from rig to places.
So pre the world falling apart, you worked on an oil rig, was it?
Not exactly oil rig, but boat who goes to rig, yes. I was like, how you say engineer for boat? Fixing things.
That's exactly
Boat
what we say,
engineer.
engineer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Engineer is good.
Yeah.
It's good, but not good job on shit boat. You fixing everything all the time with paperclip, you know? But
That's
sometimes
certainly a handy
learn
skill
some,
set.
some handy tricks, yes.
Fixing a boat with a paperclip. I'd like to see that.
The boat is now broken, so maybe it wasn't good repair.
Alright.
Right.
If we're good to go, I'll go
Okay.
speak to Araha and
So what I'll do, I will kit new guy with my new set of chainmail.
Okay, fantastic. So, you're able to, in the little slot above all your wounds, where there is something that says armor, you're able to add 25 to your head, torso, left, and right arm. So that'll save you some damage, potentially, when things come to that, if they come to that.
But since we're not biking, yes, Nick and I will still have our normal gear.
Normal gear, yep. I'm assuming everyone's as armored up as they possibly can be.
Yep.
Tanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want me to come with, or am I better here?
We need another silence range person.
Well, Nick.
Another. That's it.
How many people have you got in this base?
I think.
Don't know. Trying to get up.
Now about
It's close.
4 able.
It's close to like. There are quite a few people here in total.
Yeah, but like,
closer. But
no,
Oh, able? There are a lot of able-bodied people.
except most of them aren't going on.
yeah, I feel like able people is like the mains, like the ones that like do
Yeah.
well. Kind of that I'll make.
So not you guys? Sorry.
I don't know, but I tell you the number because I will know.
Yeah,
but I
you would
don't,
know exactly.
I don't know.
Great, now I know exactly how many people are. Thank you.
But no, I think we would require you here. We need.
Yeah.
We need the extra range defense in here.
Okay. Just don't lose another eye. Just don't be reckless. Try not to be.
I'll try.
I'm gonna keep things set here. Seriously, a single bat comes my way. I've got it. Just watch out for that. Anything like that.
Cool. Say goodbyes
Okay.
and then.
You find Aroha. She, leaves the rest of her family and comes and joins you for a little bit.
We're heading off soon.
Okay.
Gonna go and get everything you need. Back in a couple of days.
I'd come with if I could.
I know.
Just don't let anyone get hurt. Not for me.
Don't worry. We'll be careful.
Please do. I mean it.
Thank you, Dad. See you later. It's time to say goodbye.
Let's just hope it's not forever.
No. Does she look like Susie Gato?
So, the rest of you get ready as much as you can. Collecting your bits and bobs.
I'm leaving my hunting rifle behind,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm taking my big gun.
Okay. Nick, what are you going to take with you? Are you going to take your bow, or are you going to take...
I'm going to take my bow.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Okay.
And if we have any little sidearms, it's probably good to take one of those as well.
Yep. Definitely.
You gave me brass knuckles at one point, didn't you?
Let's just say yes.
I think so.
Because I remember talking about it, but I don't know if...
No, I don't think we.
No.
I think that's something you wanted, but
Yeah.
we didn't have.
Oh, we don't have. That's
Yeah.
fine.
We did have the little. We had a hatchet. I think you've been carrying since
Oh,
we left
I-
Auckland. But
Yeah.
I've
got one.
You've got choices. You've got
Yeah.
knives, knives.
Noise.
Knives.
Alright. We're good to go, guys?
yeah,
I'll take a knife as well, actually, yeah.
I'll carry the hatchet as a sort of a sidearm thing, but not like actual ranged sidearm.
Frank, one who's been doing quite a bit of the talking, comes up towards you, Mikhail. Look, I don't know what happened to your buddy. We didn't see anything. We didn't find tracks. We didn't find anything when we went down Matakana ways. It's over the hill, a wee bit. Not to say that he isn't still out there, but he hasn't come back. I don't know if he thought you were gonna, recover. He was happy to see that you made it out, but his goals seemed like they were elsewhere, out there.
Was he physically okay?
He had taken a bit of a whack to the head, but beyond that, he seemed like he was all there. As much as he could be, he was still distraught. His brother. People take losing people differently. Wish I could give you some answers, but I can't.
I'm guessing he took all of his stuff with him.
He did.
Well, maybe he's okay. We don't know.
No. You've been, well, you haven't been trouble. So you're okay in my book.
Well, you guys didn't try to kill me, so far you're my favorite people around too.
Good to hear. Yeah. You gonna stick around here, or are you gonna follow these people?
I think I'm going to go with them, because if there's any clues about Ismail and when maybe he left a clue, he didn't leave it here by looks of things. So, I think better for me to keep going.
Fair enough.
Plus, these guys look like they could use a hand. And I have exactly a hand.
Alright. Good spirit, too. Well, we'll keep things going here. Walk you out to the gates. Make sure you're all set, good to go.
I don't suppose you have spare weapon I could borrow.
Head down to your shed, see what we got. And you start to descend the staircase, saying your farewells to everyone that's here. Loaded up and ready to head out there. There are 6 of you. An even number. Let's hope that 6 return. Going down towards the forge, is there anything in particular that your eyes would be shooting for? There are a number of different implements in this forge and in a supply shed nearby. What suits you?
Maybe a small spool of aircraft cable and a Leatherman tool? Something handy like this?
You could.
Sure, we have those in our storage.
Would be perfect. And maybe if you have like a minigun. I'll take the Leatherman.
All right, you have yourself.
They're on back order, I'm afraid.
Yeah. So you mean like you mean like paracord or?
Yeah, sure. Or something stronger even is good.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything handy, you never know. Maybe, something to stab those little bitey guys with if we have something like that too. You never know.
So I go get him a Leatherman, get him some like kind of paracord kind of thing, like some
Yeah,
kind
and
of
some wire as well.
strong wire and rope.
Yep.
And a knife.
Okay. All right. This is a pretty sizable knife. It's not quite a machete, but it's definitely not a knife.
Excellent. This is good. This is much better than just my shoe.
For the knife. Just write down minus 15 on the mod. Oh, sorry, no, minus 5 on
I
the
was going
mod.
to say, that's a heavy knife.
Yeah,
That is a knife.
So minus 5 on the mod and 10 to damage.
Actually, it's spelled Noif. All caps. Exclamation mark.
Knife.
Noif.
I was giving you my Spadex stats.
Yeah.
Not getting that thing. Not today. So, the 6 of you form a column.
Oh, one more question. You guys have some kind of water filter for purifying water?
We've got a very large store of water.
I will say you do have water purification tablets that you might be able to bring along with you. That's like a good
I
little
actually
container of them.
That there, or just
So one of you can write down water purification tablets amongst your equipment.
What's in them? Little bit of iodine or?
water purification.
Perfect.
That's all in there.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I'll
the
do some as
ingredients I was hoping they would have.
Okay,
Yes.
some as well.
There you go. and you have as much food and water as you can carry. And so,
Do we have to limit, taking all the other stuff with it? Does that stuff go? Do we have to limit the food from our?
no, you can have that and a amount within reason of equipment. Yeah. As soon as you start to take a little bit too much, that's when things start to get jangly, and can get caught places when you're trying to
Encumbered, half
smooth
speed.
through them.
Fine, I'll
Yeah,
leave my
pretty
anvil
much.
behind.
Yeah, leave that thing.
My collection of antique wind
Gosh, what's your
chimes.
mind?
Yeah. So,
Let's rock and roll.
the outside gate rolls shut, locks closed. You see Skulk standing atop the MDC, just looking out towards you all. Just kind of gives you like a little salute
You're
wave.
gonna say we're like
No, not maniacally
Maniacal
laughing.
laugh.
No, he does it after he turns away.
yeah.
Petting his skull.
And so the six of you, laden down, start to head out along the road. The roads are pretty well worn. There are cracks that have formed, weeds spreading up through them. Some areas the grasses have kind of grown over them entirely. And you start to follow the winding road leading away from the Goat Island Marine Reserve, heading up until you reach an intersection that's going to be taking you over the hills and towards Pakri.
Once we get up top, we would have a look with binoculars down the valley that would be going down.
Okay,
Having a squeeze. Because it's all pretty open to see up the top of the rocky road there.
I'm going to go ahead and give you a road.
I would save the little bit of weight on my bag. I'll change my binoculars to a monocular.
Okay.
There you
But
go.
now you can only see half as far. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, like you use with the other eye though. It's like a left-hand monocular.
If Metal Gear Solid has taught us anything, it's that one eye is perfectly fine for using binoculars.
There you go. So you travel along the road until you reach an intersection when you start traveling up along Pakri Road, which does give you a little bit of sight over the area, but not that far. Looking out towards, we can actually do a little bit of a swap around here. You have a pretty decent sight of the area from this position, looking around, trying to make out the surrounding area. You did hear from Charles before we skip, rumor of fires that were working their way up along the coast. That coast was up this way. Still kind of out of sight at this point.
Yeah, we'll really see that till we get over the top.
But that was more out in the direction of Pakri itself. Is there anything in particular that any of you are looking out for once you kind of start to reach the crest of the hill?
Bats.
Okay, this is
Keeping
Bat
an
Country.
eye out for
This is
fucking
Bat
bats.
Country. Okay.
Just dead things in general. Anything out of the ordinary. Yeah.
Zombie sheep.
While walking up through the more dense treed areas around Goat Island, you haven't been able to see anything in the trees. You're actually noticing like a distinct lack of birds in the area. Usually you can hear some in the distance, especially around your center, but there haven't been any in the last few weeks. Usually they're a source of food for you. Skulk traps seagulls and other marine birds, but they haven't been around, not since the bat swarm came through. And there is anxiety moving through those darker canopied areas, but you don't hear any squeaking, not yet at least. You make your way up, all the way up to the top of this hill, where you eventually get sight of the area, at least a little bit more. And it's actually probably going to be more that point here. The fields are overgrown. The fences that contain them are barely visible at this point. A lot of the grass growing up to the length of them. this is just lonely. Looking out across this large area of farmland, you don't see anything living, or anything dead for that matter. It's just the 6 of you slowly marching along the road, keeping aware as much as you can, and conversation has been almost non-existent as you've been moving. Most of it being very directed and in relation to what's going on. Hasn't been jovial, not yet. Tensions are still high. And you continue on. So the road takes a fair while, but it's easy enough to stick to, and it's definitely the clearest path available to you. No cars, no farm vehicles, nothing alongside the roads. It's just empty. No sign of anyone being through this area for a long, long time. The grass and the weeds that stretch across the road stand upright. Nothing's driven over them, not recently. So, the commotion that you heard definitely wasn't in this direction. At least, as much as you can tell so far. Eventually, the road starts to wind down into Pakari, a small town with
12 people.
well, yeah, it is a small town. Some of you have been here. Scott, you would have been here during the time skip. It's been pretty well cleared out by you and your folk. Pakari was actually the furthest north you came. Most of the looting and gathering that you did was throughout the other places that were closer to you, so Lee and Matakana and Warkworth. You never really travelled too far north. You're still a little unfamiliar with the area, as it's been a good few months since you've been through this way. But you know the way well enough that you can lead people through the town. And the question comes, as you start to approach the town, are you going to go directly straight through it, or try and find a path around it? You come to a stop just outside of the main township.
What are we thinking? Go straight through, or
We didn't encounter any of the problems that we encountered during the thing in this area. Any of the infestation problems?
No.
Nope. Okay.
No.
Going through it is either we jump fences between the buildings, or we, on the right side, we've got just open fields and we can't really see where those fences are. And we don't know what the terrain's like, we could easily get stuck or make stupid noise.
Yeah.
I think just take our time, go slowly. Nick and I will go ahead.
It's not that big. It won't take long for
No,
us to get
no.
through.
No, we're not.
At least through town we can see if anything's nearby.
Okay.
Nick and I will sneak ahead, and
Jake and Nick, I need you to roll stealth for me. It is flat, it's challenging. Everyone else, I need you to roll stealth for me, and you get a plus 20. You're behind these two. They might have a chance to warn you should anything.
I get a +5.
I fail.
So it's flat, yeah, for Jake and I.
Yes.
Okay. 49 pass.
72 fail.
Oh no.
38
Oh, no.
pass.
Clunk.
54 pass.
Okay.
18 pass.
Nice.
Almost
Okay.
crit.
All right. So, yeah, there is a little bit of noise coming from Verdant as he's moving along.
It's that big rifle you're carrying.
It's not so much noise as well. Sometimes it's visibility that can be an issue. Nick, you're staying quiet, moving ahead with Jake, the two of them roughly around about 50 meters ahead of you. They're moving out into this town. You're looking at the small buildings that are along here. It's weird, other than the grass and the overgrown lots, place looks like it might have Apart from the occasional building, you see the roof slightly caved in, the outside finding its way inside. But it's just quiet as you're moving through here. The occasional rustle as the wind whips through the grass. Jake, you start to slightly misstep, and Nick just places his hand on you, keeping you steady, stopping you moments before you step on a discarded can, semi-hidden amongst the detritus and leaves and grass on the road. The other's still further back. I need both Nick and Jake to roll perception for me. This is hearing.
Fail.
Any modifiers or?
No, this is just challenging, straight flat.
Okay, 82 pass.
You're a bloody hawk. You are a hawk.
He's got good bloody.
You could say that. Yeah, you could definitely say that. You both stop for a second. You continue walking. And Nick, to your left-hand side, in the grass by one of the properties, you hear a sound that's quiet at first, but then it starts to build slightly. There was nothing, there was no sound there before, but all of a sudden you just hear this. It's quiet, slowly building, and Nick, you're the first person that comes aware of this sound directly to your left. And it's not just one sound.
I'd grab Jake and sign exactly what you just said.
Yeah, he grabs you. The rest of you see these two just stop.
Sign that noise too.
And Nick just starts signing to him.
How do you sign that noise, Nick?
I don't know. we sorted this out years ago, Jake.
You immediately are aware that there is something to your side. You can hear it starting to build as well, this sound. There's more than one sound though. In this grass, you can't see the source of the sound, but you can hear it building. Just that. It's very difficult to describe, but it sounds kind of like a drowning cat almost. Not that I've ever heard a drowning cat, but imagine. Yes. As this thing starts to build, the rest of you see them stop. You've still been making your way up a little bit closer towards where they are. You see them both just stationary.
Pair with the.
I'd probably also sign
noise.
back to be like just generic hand gesture of stop or halt or something like that.
Okay. As the rest of you get close, I need you all to roll stealth for me. This is flat once again. This is flat now.
Lucky I get a minus 15.
Whoa. You have really good stealth, right? Tell me you have good stealth.
Yes. Really
Flat,
good.
flat this time.
50 fail.
50 fail. You know what? Like getting used to that prosthetic.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You're still kind of getting used to it a little bit.
Yeah. That bloody prosthetic.
63 fail.
Okay.
95.
I failed by 49.
I don't feel so bad now.
Okay. There is a little bit of a clanging as the four of you start moving up, kind of bang into each other, and there is like a loose pan inside, like not like a pan, but there is like a little camp stove cooker type thing in one of your packs, and you can just hear it like rustle. And as soon as it does, the grass parts, you see movement happening along the side of the street. Streaks. Not fast, but just a slow, almost crawling movement as things start to emerge from the grass. Slowly at first.
How much movement are we
With
seeing?
a little bit of speed. You'd see roughly... Roll a quick perception check for me.
Nick.
Flat, the two of you can.
Oh shit, did I pass? I failed by 2.
Is it flat?
It is flat.
Oh, well then I failed.
Okay.
You can do that?
He can
Yeah,
apparently.
I can.
So, looking out towards, your eyes both dart. You're not able to determine how many sources of movement you're seeing, but you are seeing a fair amount of it. And then as it starts to reach the road, you can see...
Radio through, group up.
As you do, they're within 10 to 20 feet of you at that point. They're right up towards where you were. That's when that little clanging happened, and the movement starts to increase in speed as you start to see. It's difficult to tell what it is at first. The first thing that emerges from the grass, it doesn't have any ears, and there is a very small amount of the actual face that's still there, but it's this small skeletal creature that seems to be pulling itself out. Its lower legs completely missing. It's difficult to make out in the flash that you first catch of it as you see all this other movement starting to happen around it, but it looks like it could have been a cat at some stage as it starts to crawl out of the grass towards you. You see other movement coming through. The rest of you are aware that something is going down. These two have stopped. They've got their weapons out. They're getting ready. Nick is drawing out an arrow, getting his bow out. At this stage, we are entering combat. I need everybody's athletics. We're going to start with you first, Scott.
40.
40. Okay. All right.
40.
40.
75.
75. Okay. All right.
42.
Okay.
50.
50. And Nick? 60. Okay. All right. Well, effectively, we have 6 player slots, and then we have my slots after that. So, who would like to go first?
Whoever's closest to the cat, I guess.
Both you and Nick are the closest ones there. The rest of you, as I said, you're still around about 10 meters away at this point as this thing just kind of crawls out. And it's not coming at you fast, but it's trying to make its way out towards you.
Can I charge at it and grapple it?
It's a pathetic looking thing. To give you an idea, it's about this big.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fully geared up in my structural gear.
All right.
And just go and grapple it. Charge and grapple.
Good kitty.
Go for it.
How much do you get for charge?
You get plus 20. And you get... Yeah, plus 20. Okay, so yeah, roll fight, first of all.
102.
Did you roll 100?
Yeah.
That's
and
a crit.
Then I have 2 over, so I have 100.
Okay, so when effectively your skill is already above 100, it's usually damage that's just gonna trickle over. On a crit, for you trying to grab this thing, as you move in, charging towards it to try and grab it, you effectively grab a hold of this thing and just tear whatever is remaining of the head out from this. The spine comes with it as you remove it from the body of this thing. The head is still moving slightly in your hand, and you just throw it, you spike it down on the road as best you can, and it seems to have stopped.
So if my stat was over 100, but obviously I can't roll over 100, and I roll 100...
That counts as a crit, so yeah, that is an automatic increase next session, should you survive this one.
I will survive this one just for that.
Okay, Nick, to give you an idea...
I wasn't planning on it at first.
At this point, you can see at least 3 other sources of movement that are coming out of this grass towards you.
Can I just fire an arrow towards one of them?
All right. Go ahead and roll, my friend. You are going to get a minus 20 to that roll, though, to your skill.
I rolled a 10, so it's a hit.
Okay.
All
right. Okay. What's the damage on your bow?
That's a good question. I actually don't know that.
30?
It wasn't heavy, was it?
What kind of bow is it?
It's effectively a compound bow.
It's compound, yeah.
Awesome. They'll probably be at 20. 20, I guess, yeah.
Okay, we'll call it a 20. With how much it failed by. Yep, so that's 30. It's 102. Limb destroyed. Okay, it's a bad fail. You loose this arrow into the grass. That source of movement that you saw moving before doesn't seem to be doing that. It seems to be still.
1 for 1.
You're all able to hear now a slight sound that's there. It's just that, like I described before, just this, but quieter than that. It's weak, frail even. Who wants to go next? There are two sources of movement that are semi-visible.
So I'm not going yet.
I'll go forward, I guess. So I've got the melee.
Yep. With your Spidax out and ready, you start moving over towards where Nick and Jake are. They're both like standing by the grass at the ready. What do?
I try to look for something. That's what I hear.
You can see that there is a little bit of movement. It's obscured though. You can try and lash out towards it if you like.
Minuses on minuses.
It's going to be a -20 to your skill, and then all of your other negatives.
So, minus. So my 100 to hit turns to a 50.
Oh my god.
Okay.
God, that's painful.
Yeah.
Sigil if you got him.
Yeah, I'm gonna sigil. $68 pass.
Okay. That's a 94 fail on my part. So this this thing that's slowly moving its way through the grass, you're not even able to see what it is as you just bring your Spidax back and just woof, let it just go straight down into it, kind of holding on to the very end of your Spidax to give you as much reach as possible as you just slam this thing into there. You feel like you hit something solid among the soft grass. And there doesn't seem to be movement. As you draw back the Spidax, there is almost like a dark ichor-like substance on it. Not running, but like thick. As you draw it back out, there is one more seeming movement in the grass. There are still 3 people left that can take a turn.
I'll go.
All right.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Follow Scott up.
Follow Scott up.
Yep. So effectively, as Scott is moving in and doing this, you're doing this at the same
Yep.
time.
And yeah, test out that new hammer.
Yeah, so you just take it out the side, start moving in with your arm nice strapped and secure to you.
Yep.
With your good arm, you bring it down into the grass. Minus
That'll
20.
be a light, right? The hammer?
The hammer would be a medium weapon.
Medium?
Yeah, it's got a bit of heft to it.
Yep.
Minus 10.
Yep. Modifiers for my arm?
Your arm's still good. Your arm, it's
good enough.
Yeah, there is still pain that's there, but it's not going to hold you back from this.
No, I won't waste the sigil on that. No.
1 for 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I only have 3 though.
You bring your thing through, and you just get nothing but air moving through there. But you can definitely tell that there is something that's near as you see like a flash of something for a second there. Something is definitely moving through the grass.
I told you should have
Unable
practiced
to
swinged
see
it a few times back and back.
Yeah,
2 more people that have a turn.
I'll go then. I will charge up and stomp this thing. Like
Yep.
curb stomp it.
Yep. Okay, so you start running up, and you just, right where he struck, you try and just, you enter the grass a little bit, and you try and stand down right on
Any
it.
modifiers?
You get plus 20 for charging, but it's also 20 difficulty, so it's flat. It's flat.
Better than nothing. That's a 19 success.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, all right. You do catch it, but it's still moving. You stomp down, and you feel contact. You've definitely kind of got it underneath your foot right now, but you can feel it kind of writhing still.
Okay.
And as you are standing on this, you see a hand just reach up and onto your leg. Slowly, surely. And you can see that this hand the skin is just stretched across it. Thin. There are, on some of its fingers, you can see that they're just worn down to almost like sharpened bone.
Oh,
And
I'm
parts that
shaking
are just
about.
stretching out from the skin. This looks like it could be a human hand that's grasping onto you.
Cat lady
I'm
to go
gonna
with the cats.
shake my leg about and try to
You start to shake. You just hear it, and just start trying to shake it off. Shake it off. Ooh.
I was thinking hokey pokey, but
Yeah. Yeah.
we can.
I stick my leg out to you and go, get it.
I come running with knife and chop hand off.
You use a knife. You just using the knife. Okay, all right. So you are charging.
Not his hand, the grabby guys.
Yeah, you are charging. Now, that's going to give you a plus 20. Also, because his hand is stationary on his leg, and you are standing above this thing, you are going to be in a superior position, because you can see where this is now. You take a minus 10 because you are aiming for the hand. So in total, that is going to give you plus 50 to your fight.
Plus 50 and then minus.
He's taking that into account.
So
20, then 40 minus 10.
And another minus 10 for the weapon.
Yes.
So it's... So
All right.
Plus 40, so you've got 80.
plus 40. 80.
78 success.
That's a good success.
Oh, damn.
I love chopping off hands.
You come right in there, and it's not just like a wham swing, because it's currently attached to his leg. You just jump in there, you grab onto the hand, and you just bring this knife across it, and just you have the hand. You have the upper hand. Yeah, and it hurts a little bit using your other hand, but it is still bandaged up. It's wrapped up tightly. But yeah, you managed to just saw this hand off, and there's just this almost yellowed bone on the inside that cracks and breaks away as you're chopping through, and the thing finally is removed.
I appreciate the hand.
No problem. I'll smell the hand.
For Dant, it comes around to my turn.
Oh, okay. That's still your turn. I thought we
This
got rid of
thing
it.
is still here.
Got rid of the hand. There's still an arm now.
Okay, that's a sexy number,
69.
but it's not good enough. That is a fail. With this hand gone, the grass parts slightly, and there is this face that comes out of it. It just lifts up here, just this long hair, almost like it's just like this kind of stringy, patchy hair. As his face comes out, you see that the lower jaw is completely gone, and this tongue, like partially decomposed, is just hanging out of its mouth as this horrific looking thing that should not be moving is looking straight up towards you in your eyes, and it just starts to, with these kind of sharpened, cracked teeth, just start to go in towards your leg. You freak out and you start trying to pull away. It's not getting through your trousers that you have on at this stage, but it's still going for you.
Yep. I don't like it.
Thankfully, it goes back around to the rest of your turns.
I'm immediately going to try and just stomp back down.
Okay, so it's currently grabbed onto your leg. You're going to try and stomp onto... Just try and stomp onto it?
Curb stomp its head into the ground.
Okay.
I'm above it, so superior position.
You are in a superior position at this stage. It is seemingly starting to climb up on you, but it's not quite there yet. So
is it just a superior position modifier that I get?
Yeah, plus 40.
Any negatives?
Only what you have if you're using a limb that is damaged. But other than that, you're okay.
No, I don't think I'm using a limb that is damaged. Well,
Do you what injuries do you
I've got a missing right leg. Oh, and I've got that tendon was on the other leg. So would I have a negative?
That one's okay. That's healed, but your prosthetic leg is going to give you a negative.
So I'm gonna be stomping with my good leg, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, stomp away.
So that's a plus 40.
It is.
That's 100. So that's an 84 success.
Okay. You manage to just like, as you fling your leg, you manage to knock it onto its back on the grass. You just bring your foot up with your boot and just stomp down right onto its head. The actual skull itself cracks away, and you just get it right in there. And as that thing stops, you all take a moment to look around you. The grass is seemingly still, but inside one of the nearby homes, you can just hear the slightest shuffling and bumping and knocking of furniture. Still not alone in this town.
This move. Double time.
You all start to collect yourself, make your way back onto the road, quickly checking, making sure that everyone is okay. You start to continue through Pakari.
Check to make
Leaving
sure
behind.
that there's been the ichor from the hand that he was holding and didn't seep through his bandage or anything.
Just on the surface. Doesn't seem to have seeped, but you all stay together, moving onwards. Pakari, not a very big town. You should be on the other side of it before long. But we'll find out in the next. Thank you all for joining us for this week of Zealand. I've been Rycon. You have all been awesome. And until next time, stay breathing.